Hello, welcome back to Off the Post. In today's episode, I'll be discussing how Carvalho's late equaliser sent shockwaves to Chelsea. But before that, as always, please like, comment and subscribe. It's very much appreciated and it goes a long way in helping me build a small community on my channel, okay? We've recently just hit 225 subscribers. I just want to say a massive thank you to everybody showing support on the recent videos, all the likes and the comments on social media as well. It definitely isn't going unnoticed, and yeah, I just want to say a massive thank you, really. But let's get straight into the episode. Brentford drew 2-2 with Chelsea, thanks to a Fabio Carvalho equaliser right at the death of the game, okay? For me, it just goes to show what a good job Keith Andrews has done this season. Don't get me wrong, they have lost 2 games, they've won 1 and they've drew 1 as well. So it's been a mixed start to the season for Brentford. However, getting a draw right at the death against Chelsea as well. Against Chelsea, such a high level opposition in the Premier League. You know, potentially going for the Premier League title. We don't know yet. It's still early on in the season. Only 4 game weeks have passed, so we'll have to wait and see. Probably after 10 game weeks, let's say, before we know whether Chelsea will be in this season, whether they're, you know, just challenging for top 4 or that they're going for the Premier League. We don't know. There could be an outside shout, couldn't they? Kevin Schade for the first goal was absolutely brilliant, wasn't he? But for me, that pass from Jordan Henderson, the pass was absolutely pinpoint perfect, wasn't it? Honestly, you know, Jordan Henderson has been a breath of fresh air in that midfield for Brentford, okay? He's added that much needed experience in the midfield once again, just to sort of, you know, keep it sort of balanced, well-rounded in there, to sort of help the likes of Damsgaard to sort of attack, give them that free roam sort of attack and provide the assists and whatnot. It was such weird defending from Chelsea because they had such a high line. They only had 1 player back in defence in tossing, so it sort of gave Kevin Schade that ability to attack the box and to get a shot off past Robert Sanchez. So for me, you know, Kevin Schade will do that in abundance, wouldn't he? If he has that free roam to attack the box and to get a shot off, we've seen it last season, he will score the goals because he's a bagsman in front of goal, isn't he? He's fantastic, and he will get the headliners once again. For me, Kevin Schade is brilliant, and I feel like he's probably one of the main attackers now in that front 3 for Brentford. So they're going to have to watch out this season. Premier League teams are going to have to watch out for him. You know, hopefully he can form some partnerships with the likes of Fabio Carvalho and Thiago and whoever's on that right-hand side as well for Brentford. For me, in this game, you know, Brentford did do well to sort of hold off Chelsea for 1 half at least. I'm pretty sure they did have a few chances, don't get me wrong. There was 1 chance for a corner right on the 45th minute, I'm pretty sure, and it was a little bit controversial, some might say, how it sort of hit off Ethan Pinnock's hand, I'm pretty sure, or his like arm, I don't know, but you know, that sort of didn't get given Chelsea's way at least. The decision went to Brentford at least and whatnot. So obviously in the second half now, as soon as Cole Palmer got subbed on, he pretty much changed the game for Chelsea and scored the equaliser, didn't he? So for me, you know, I'm just thinking to myself, as soon as I take Cole Palmer out of my FPL team, he goes on and scores a goal. What's that about? Okay, what honestly, what is that about? But anyways, it doesn't matter too much because I've got a João Pedro assist. Okay, so I did get a few points on the board. But in all serious matters, okay, Cole Palmer is just different gravies, and he's absolutely brilliant. Okay, you know, Chelsea were doing this sort of same play where they would run to the byline, one of their players would run to the byline, cross it into the back post, a little bit similar to Manchester City tactics of old. And for me, you know, Cole Palmer sort of runs into the box layer and gets a tap in, really. So that was a quite easy goal for Cole Palmer, some might say. And for me, it definitely did change the game. And when it's 1-1 now, sort of the momentum sort of changed to Chelsea, and it did look like Chelsea was going on to win, and they did get a good goal through Moises Caicedo. Not a nice little long shot outside the box, and for me, you know, it was a weekend of long shots, some might say. Obviously, Zubimendi scoring a good goal for Arsenal as well. For me, absolutely amazing goals this weekend. Obviously, Moises Caicedo, Zubimendi, and yeah, you know, it was looking likely that Chelsea were going to win the game. Obviously, that second goal came in the 85th minute, so they just needed to hold on for 5 more minutes and they would have won the game, wouldn't they, Chelsea? It was so unfortunate because obviously Fabio Carvalho went down at the other end, right, and got that late equaliser, and it was for a Rory Delap throw-in, okay? You know, a Stoke City hoofball type goal, some might say. And it's sort of good for football, if you like, because, you know, it just goes to show that those type of goals aren't dying out in the game yet, is it? Because when it's all these, you know, playing out the back, when it's all these playing out the back type goals, when it's sort of, you know, build up possession from the defence, from the goalkeeper, from your defenders to your midfield, you know, when it's sort of those, you know, triangle sort of passes in between your midfielders and your attackers and whatnot, it just goes to show that these types of goals are still, you know, needed in the game, because, you know, it is needed in the game, isn't it? Because, you know, maybe some defenders aren't used to defending that sort of way, you know, pointing a long throw in into the box, has trouble, had drama into the box, because that ball could literally go anywhere, and it went into the direction of Fabio Carvalho, because, you know, he was so open, he was so free in the box, and he got that little touch that he needed to get past Robert Sanchez. And don't get me wrong, I don't think both teams deserve to win this game. Okay, I feel like a draw was the right result in the end, because I don't think they did enough. I don't think either side did enough to win the game for me. And don't get me wrong, you know, for me, my stand-up players were Kevin Schade, because obviously getting that first goal was amazing. He had a few chances as well to win the game. I feel like Cole Palmer as well, because obviously he came on and he did change the game. Moises Caicedo as well, sort of ran the midfield at times in the game. Obviously getting that sort of second goal, controlling that midfield aspect as well. And yeah, you know, you could say maybe Chelsea did deserve to win the game, because they did have 16 shots, 66% possession as well. You could argue that Chelsea did play better out of the two, because they did dominate more of the ball, they did have more of the shots, and probably Brentford were probably holding on to sort of try and get a nice little counter-attacking goal, and that's what they did through the second goal, through the equaliser. But, you know, I feel like I did underestimate Brentford at the start of the season. I did put them to get relegated, I'm pretty sure, or to be in a relegation battle at least, because of the appointment of Keith Andrews replacing their star manager in Thomas Frank. And, you know, obviously he's been amazing since he broke through in the Championship days as well, at least Thomas Frank. So for me, I just thought it was big shoes to fill, if you like, in Keith Andrews. And obviously he's not really been a manager before, it's his first time in management. Obviously, he's been a set-piece coach at Brentford for a few seasons now, I'm pretty sure. Got the big money move to be a manager of Brentford. So for me, I feel like they'll have a half-decent season now. I feel like they'll become a mid-table team again this season. I don't think they're going to be in a relegation battle, because 4 games in, winning 1, drawing 1 and losing 2. It's an alright start to the season. You don't really want to be losing 2 at the start of the season, do you? But to get some big points on the board against Chelsea, to get 1 point, hopefully it does go to show they can sort of build that momentum and sort of gain that sort of spirit, and I feel like they probably will, you know, spur them on to sort of get some more points under their belts. Because if we look at their next fixtures, okay, they've got Aston Villa, they've got Fulham, so it might be a half-decent season for Brentford. They've got some half-decent fixtures coming up, you know, Aston Villa, Fulham, Manchester United. So for me, those 3 games, you know, in seasons past, Aston Villa would be a tricky game. However, this season, they look right off the boil. You know, Fulham, it's sort of another London derby, so we'll have to wait and see how they do against them. And also, they've got Manchester United in that 3rd game, so the next 3 fixtures aren't too bad, all things considered, because, you know, Manchester United aren't the same team they used to be either. So for me, I feel like it's been an alright start to the season for Brentford. They can be happy with this, and I feel like, you know, Fabio Carvalho now, for me, I really do rate that player, and I feel like he can become that sort of, you know, underrated star for Brentford. Don't get me wrong, he's probably one of their better players, but obviously, you know, not really starting that many games of late for Brentford and all that sort of good stuff. I do feel like he's sort of their ones to watch this season, if you like, for Brentford. And for me, Fabio Carvalho, he can sort of, when you think about him, when you think about that Dutch midfielder as well they brought in, when you think about Mikael Damsgaard, I really do feel like they've got some half-decent attacking talent in there. It's just whether or not, you know, they can get the goals as well. For me, I'm just not too sure they've got enough goals on their side. But yeah, let's end the video with some questions, okay? How would you feel about Fabio Carvalho's late winner against Chelsea? How would you feel about Brentford going into this season? How do you feel about Keith Andrews after a few game weeks? Do you think he's the right man for the job? Do you feel like he's sort of surprised you? How do you feel about, you know, Chelsea drawing against Brentford? Do you feel like they were sort of a little bit unlucky to draw against Brentford as well? How would you feel about Cole Palmer coming back for injury? You know, it adds a lot of hope for them in the title race as well. But yeah, before that, as always, please like, comment, subscribe. It's very much appreciated. It goes a long way in helping me build a small community on my channel. We've recently just hit 225 subscribers. If we can go and hit 250 subscribers, that's my next goal, that's my next aim, that's my next ambition, okay? If we can go do that, I'd be absolutely over the moon. I'll be so happy. And yeah, but yeah, if we can do that, I'd be amazed. I hope you guys do have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.